It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hello, I'm Mike Kerner in for Gary Shorman. This is The Forum, brought to you by Hayes Med, and our guest this week is Melissa Dixon. She is the new director of the Hayes Convention and Visitors Bureau. I had to make sure I got that right, because I always hear CVBs and stuff like that, and I don't know all those acronyms or whatever you guys use, but welcome to Hayes.
Thank you.
Now, you have been in Hayes for a little while. We'll kind of get a little background in the first part of the show of who you are and where you came from, and then talk about your job in the second half of the show. Is that okay?
That sounds great.
All right. Now, to get to know you a little bit, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Vicksburg, Mississippi, which is a big Civil War town, so a lot of tourism there too.
And what size of a community would that be?
Oh, probably about between 25 and 30,000.
So a little bit bigger than Hayes. So it's kind of a town size that you're familiar with.
Yes.
So you went to grade school, high school there, and kind of grew up?
Yes, and then on to college at Mississippi State University in Northeast Mississippi, where I majored in fine art with an emphasis in graphic design.
So graphic design is kind of where your, I guess, forte. I mean, it's the thing that is in your wheelhouse. That's what you like to do.
Yes, love it. And graphic design and marketing just go hand in hand. And so that kind of drove into future employment with marketing agencies.
Now, you moved here to Hayes with your husband because, well, he got a job here. And it was kind of one of those last minute kind of emergency jobs, actually.
It was. It was an emergency job search for the geosciences department. And so we kind of had to scramble and get some things in order to get here, but we did it.
And the kids were willing to go too? I guess they didn't have a choice, did they?
They're so small. It was an adventure to them, but we talked Kansas up really big.
Okay. Good. So graphic arts, you went to college for that, you majored in that and marketing. And then when you came to Hayes, you were contacted, right away by Fort Hays State University. So you and your husband both working at Fort Hays for a while.
We did. It was a great deal. Worked as social media coordinator for them. Social media was kind of an afterthought. They didn't have anybody devoted to it, so I was the first person to take that on and kind of make the position what it could be. So laid a great foundation with several different social media platforms to help that Office of University Relations and Marketing get the news out farther and faster than they ever had before.
So is your training from college a little bit different than your training now or what you're doing now these days?
Well, I got a lot of experience after college with an advertising agency in Phoenix, Arizona, and then actually opened a branch of their firm back in Mississippi. And I ran that branch for 9 years, and a lot of the social media and advertising that I did for the university, we would do for clients.
So you've got a lot of experience in the advertising and marketing and graphics department.
Yes.
So let's talk about your position now, your Hayes Convention and Visitors Bureau. We'll talk about details of that position and some of your goals and some of the stuff you've stepped into by taking that position. But let's talk about how you got that position, because you said that was kind of an interesting story.
It was. I got invited to speak at the Hayes Area Young Professionals Luncheon and tell them about my job at the university. And so I was able to show them how we were using social media to market the university. And a lot of those young professionals could be doing the same thing, promoting their small businesses. And so we compared notes, and I met a lot of great people. But at the end, afterwards, there was someone from the city in the audience, and they said, "You would be really great for this job because of your past experience." And they called me, and then we talked. And
it's something you've done in the past too.
Well, with the agency that I ran back in Mississippi, one of our main clients was the Chamber of Commerce, CVB, and Economic Development. And so we helped them with everything from print pieces to event planning.
So here you are in Hayes, Kansas, and now working as with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. So what we'll do in the second half of the show is we're going to talk a little bit about your position and what you're doing at the position, some of the goals with your position too. So you ready for that?
You bet.
Okay, under fire, it's Melissa Dixon, Hayes Convention and Visitors Bureau, and we'll join her in the second half of the show after this from Hayes Med.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.
The most exciting yards in football. It's NFL Red Zone from NFL Network. Get every touchdown from every game, every Sunday afternoon. And football doesn't stop on NFL Network. It goes all week.
We're covering it like crazy.
Get NFL Red Zone from NFL Network today.
Add NFL Red Zone so you can watch all the game-defining yards in football. Call us at 877-61-EAGLE today.
Welcome back to the Forum. I'm Mike Kerner in for Gary Shorman this week, brought to you by Hayes Med. By the way, if you've got any show ideas or if you've got any ideas for guests in the future, Gary would love to hear from you. His email is gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. Our guest this week is Melissa Dixon. She is the new director at the Hayes Convention and Visitors Bureau. We're going to talk to you a little bit. I know in the first half of the show we talked to you a little bit about getting to know you and where you're from. Got the southern drawl, Mississippi. That's okay. But Hayes, Kansas, you're here now, and what do you, did you have to learn a lot of stuff getting into this new position you're in? I know in the first half of the show you said you were with a Convention and Visitors Bureau as one of your clients in Mississippi, but did you have to get to know a lot of stuff here, or did you pick it up as you were going along?
Well, I feel like I'm a big cheerleader for Hayes because I want my friends and family to feel good about where we've ended up, and as long as we've been here, I've been calling home and posting on Facebook, don't worry about us, we're doing great. Look at all the fun things we're doing, and it's easy to do in Hayes. We send them pictures from the baseball park and university events, and it really is an easy sell.
Well, one of the things I was thinking of, for you probably went through this before you moved to Hayes. You probably were trying to find out all these things about Hayes, and I guess you still have that fresh in your mind. What was I looking for? What was my husband looking for? And I guess you can put yourself in people's shoes that are looking the same way.
Right. I was recently recruited, so I feel like I can be a pretty good recruiter for the town. The CVB website was actually, I keep telling the staff, that's actually what let me know everything was going to be okay. There's plenty of things to do, plenty of resources in Hayes, but that was a great tool that we used.
Now, since you are kind of a social media friend, do you do a lot of social media? Have you worked on social media a little bit more than Hayes had done in the past?
There's actually a marketing manager there whose sole job is to take care of social media. Is that what you're referring to?
So you don't have to worry about that, did you?
It's kind of a stress relief to be able to, somebody else is taking care of that now.
No kidding. Now, your position, so what do you try to do? Do you try to just go out and spread the word? Do you have to go to conferences somewhere else, maybe go to other cities and talk about Hayes? Or is your job to maybe put out flyers and publish stuff?
Well, there is a bit of travel worked into the year's schedule and budget. But first few months on the job, I feel like are kind of evaluating what we've done in the past and where we want to go. Taking a look at printed pieces, where are we on the web, where are we advertising in print and digital, and see what we may want to change, what we would do differently.
Do you talk to local places, let's say local museums, local hotels, and kind of work as their mediator to try to get their word out too?
Yes, they are absolutely our partners, and I've been contacting from museums to the airport to say, I kind of feel like I work for you. How can we work together to get more people here?
Well, I know that's been one of the big pushes lately is the Hayes Airport. So have you had to work on that project and help them out a little bit too?
We do. We absolutely help them with their advertising.
And I know that they've got the new flights now, which are the early morning flights, and hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed that helps them out and gets to that boarding limit or that boarding number that they want to be at.
Yes, we just tried it out this week and it worked great. We were in Denver by 7:10, so we could get early morning meetings or we could fly out anywhere else in the country.
So you were one of them that flew out earlier in the week on that first flight.
I was on that flight.
Wow. How was the turnout on that first morning that you guys did that little, well, it was not only you, but I know there were some Fort Hays students or some other students down there helping out.
It was nearly full, and there were also about 50 or 60 people from the business community supporting us just to come and say farewell and share breakfast with us.
Wow. And then you guys flew back, and it's been a nice flight. So that's one of the projects you're working on. How about some other projects you're working on in Hayes?
Well, I saw in my budget, I don't know if this is public information.
It's going to be now.
Okay. I saw a line item for a trolley. And I know that there used to be a lot of tours around Hayes, and they've kind of dropped off. And maybe that's because trolleys are hard to work on, but this one will be a brand new one. And so I hope that we can bring that back and rent them out for events and bring back that around the town tour that they used to have.
Yeah, I believe that they were a trolley would or a little bus would pick up people at different hotels at different locations at night, spring and summer and fall, and they would take them down to area attractions or around area attractions and kind of a guided tour. And I think it may have been a nightly thing too.
And you know, I don't know if I will get on a shuttle to go see everything, but I will definitely get on a trolley just to ride around.
And there you go. And I'm sure you guys are working on a lot of other projects that you don't really need to talk about or want to talk about at this moment, even though you let the cat out of the bag with the trolley. But you're doing graphics too. You working on stuff like that too?
We're cleaning up our advertising and trying to streamline our brochures and maps to be sure that we're using our budget the most efficient way we can to get those printed pieces into our visitors' hands. But also take a look at our advertising and be sure that we are looking fresh and modern and fun to recruit visitors. Now, how you've been there just recently, but I'm sure you'll start getting a lot of people from all over the world, because I've seen that map that's inside the front entrance from all over the globe, and you'll have a chance to see people and meet people from all over. And of course, I noticed last year in the summer months there would be signs on the weekends where it would be open too. Yes.
You guys planning on that as well?
We will. The summer is a very busy season for Hayes and for I-70 for our hotels. So we do open on Saturdays on the weekends in the summer, and we have some great part-time workers who come who know all the history of Hayes, and they come and help answer questions.
One of the things I want to maybe ask you in closing here, I know that we have a lot of people that come in off of interstate, or you help work on people getting out on their flights and stuff like that, but what about people that are coming in town maybe for Special Olympics and maybe the basketball tournaments and the wrestling tournaments? Do you have to work with those schools and work with those people to try to let them know about Hayes and where to stay, where to eat, and where to shop?
We absolutely do. We take care of getting them visitor packets so they are comfortable getting around town, but we also take care of the hospitality suites and make sure those coaches are taken care of and they've got stuff to eat while they're there and they've got everything they need while they're in town, so that they will have a wonderful time and come back to Hayes again.
You know, one of the things that I remember from my past, I'd had somebody ask me one time, they said, you know, there doesn't look like there's a lot of people at all the hotels, and I don't know why we need more hotels, but my wife was in the hotel business for a long time, and I remember there's a lot of people that here in Hayes, people don't realize, come into Hayes maybe at 9, 10 o'clock at night, and they're out by 6 o'clock in the morning. So there's a lot of businesses and restaurants that do a lot of business in Hayes from people that stay here just for one night that just pass through, and so it's nice to have something for them too.
Yes, the I-70 traffic is an amazing resource with us, and one of my jobs is to see if I can get them into town to eat at our restaurants and shop around a little bit.
Very good. Well, hopefully you do a good job, and I've heard good things about you so far.
Thank you very much.
Melissa Dixon, Convention and Visitor Bureau Director, and I'm Mike Kerner, and for Gary Shorman this week on the Forum. It's brought to you by Hayes Med.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet great customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, quality TV channels, all with the level of customer service you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications. Our community connected.